Hello everyone, it's Lindsay, and today I'm back with a Bible journaling process for you guys as I continue my way through Born in My Heart from Open Journey. This is the kind of Advent devotional kit, and obviously Advent is done. We are into January, New Year, and I am still working through this one, which is totally okay if you are doing the same. This is not really set up in any kind of 1 through 25 Advent style devotional. There is some scripture in the back that you could have broken up and done as an Advent study, but that is not what I did. So if you are not following me over on Instagram, I would definitely recommend it. I know Instagram isn't for everybody. I know I always get a handful of comments from those of you who hate Instagram, hate that I do stuff over there. Sorry, can't keep everybody happy. But what you are missing out on and over at Instagram is kind of the behind the scenes of my life and my channel and what I do and all those things. And so here on my channel, you may have noticed I took a little bit of a break over Christmas. My boys had some time off. My husband had some time off. And so I took some time off as well. I don't know if I've mentioned here, but I have over on Instagram, I'm going back to college starting next week. And we'll be going Monday through Thursday in person all day. And so life is about to get very, very, very hectic for me. We are also down to one vehicle. So we are sharing a vehicle. Husband's job is 2 towns away. My school and the boys' school is a town away. It's just going to be a little chaotic. So on Instagram, I updated this week that I likely won't have very many process videos in the near future here on my channel. I'm going to be primarily focusing what little extra time that I have over onto Instagram. I will be doing reels, static photos, things like that over there. Projects will be shared over there. I may bring some of those reels videos over to here on YouTube. I know not everybody likes those either. Sorry, it is quite the production to do one of these videos like this. And so I'm just not going to have the time. Also, right now when I'm filming, my kids are out of the house. My husband's out of the house during the week, but I'm also going to be out of the house starting next week. Friday will be the only day that I have quiet time. And obviously I will have homework most likely because I'm taking a full 5 classes. So we're just going to have to make things work. So I may be working through this devotional for the next foreseeable future, probably until the next one comes out. So just hang with me. And if you don't want to hang, that's cool too. I totally get it. But, things are just going to be a little bit crazy. So if you have been on the fence about Instagram, you don't have to go in all on Instagram. But if you're wondering what I'm up to, you're still wanting to get some inspiration, definitely follow me over there at LindseyDecor 413. And that's kind of where I'll be sharing things. But when I have time, I'll pop over here. Like today, I'm going to do a very quick entry as I work through this devotional. Again, this is Born in My Heart from Open Journey. I will have it linked down below for you guys. I am on this section titled The Journey, and I really love what Ingrid shared and how she kind of looked at this as, as Mary and Joseph were traveling to Bethlehem, they, in those times, were technically married. They were betrothed. She kind of goes into the history here, meaning essentially they were legally married, but the wedding ceremony that we know as a wedding ceremony was more so after the husband had gone and prepared the home and is bringing the wife to the home. So as they're traveling to Bethlehem, they are technically married in the culture at that point. And she illustrates this up against our own, kind of being the bride of Christ and how, we as Christians are betrothed to Christ and he has gone to prepare a place for us. And so where I am journaling here in John 14, I highlighted 1 all the way through 3. She has John 14 too. So John 14 starting in verse 1 says, this is Jesus speaking, "Let not your hearts be troubled. Believe in God. Believe also in me." Verse 2, "In my Father's house are many rooms. If it were not so, would I have told you that I go to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and I will take you to myself, that where I am, you may be also." So this idea that he is, we are betrothed to Christ. He is going away. He's preparing a place for us, kingdom, heaven, where we are going to reside with him. And then he'll return for us. And so I love how she kind of put those two things up against each other and kind of compared them. Very, very beautiful imagery there. And so going into, there's quite a bit to study here for this section. I may do another Bible journaling entry for this section, but I am just kind of primarily focusing on page 12 here right at the start of the journey. And so I will be creating in this kind of standard 2-inch margin Bible that I've been creating in. I have yet to pick up a fabric to cover it. I'm kind of trying to do this whole no spend thing. It's not going so well, but we're trying to work with what we got in the house as far as art supplies go for the time being. So it may be a while before I cover this. So I pulled a few things from the kit. There's one of these 2-inch kind of margin covers here. So obviously I'm going to use that to just be my primary background here. I was going to look for some way to do a title, but this says Advent Journey right on it. So I thought that would go perfect with the section titled The Journey. This little card here is actually from the add-on like little envelope that you can grab, and it has these awesome little, I say cards, but they're not cardstock, they're paper. And so I have been using these as an added journaling space inside this smaller Bible, and I've really been loving how that works. If you had picked up the stamp set, which right here, you could create your own little cards with this stamp set. I love that kind of, it's not black, it's a brownish, grayish print on there, and there is this Be Born in My Heart Today stamp is in there. So you could create your own cards. I love that idea, especially if you're working in a smaller Bible. So I'm going to kind of use this to create my kind of art cluster, I guess. I have some die cuts. I have one of these seals that I created. It's been a month or so now, using embossing powder. So I'll link that shorts video down below for you guys so you can see how I did that. And then I have this piece here. And so what I used for this was some of the dyeable muslin. This is actually from By the Well for God was selling this, but you could, buy muslin. It's not anything fancy. It's just already cut down to, smaller 6x6 pieces for you. And then I added a little bit of double-sided adhesive to the back of a piece of it. And then I use that to die cut one of these little branch pieces out of it. And so that's how I got this. It'll be a sticker if I wanted it to be. I'm not going to use it as a sticker here. I'm going to kind of let it hang off of this card, but I'm going to colorize this and add some fun things to it. But as you can see, it does not cut all the way through very, very easily. I ran it through my die cutting machine several times with an extra shim. Fabric can be a little tricky to die cut, especially when you're adding that double-sided adhesive onto the back of it. Actually, I'm looking at this, and I think I did adhesive and then cardstock, now that I think about that. I actually made this like 2 weeks ago. So what I did was I applied double-sided adhesive and then a piece of cardstock. So it's not a sticker at this point, but you don't have to add the cardstock. You could leave the sticky and then have it as a sticker, if that makes sense, but it's cardstock. So it's a layer of fabric, that double-sided adhesive, and then cardstock. So it's a little bit tricky to die cut through. I just run it through several times, and you can see it like partially cuts it, and then I just go in with a small pair of scissors and kind of snip it away from the rest of it. And it's pretty easy to follow, even with something, frilly like this. It was pretty easy to cut out. So that is what I did. That's another way to use fabric and dyes in your journaling. And so I'm going to use that to create a cluster. I am going to mute this background just a little bit with some texture paste. I kind of am liking this look a little more. I did also find one of the clear stickers from the kit that matches the one from this day, and so I'm going to add that to that card. So it should go pretty quick, nothing, too revolutionary in the process, but I did want to turn on the camera, say hello, update you guys, let you guys know what's going on. So let me go ahead, put you guys on fast forward, and we'll put together this entry for John chapter 14. All right, so this is going to go pretty quick. I'm going to start out by tearing the left-hand edge of this large background sticker. These are slightly wider than the margin space, so it gives you room to do this. And this is one little trick I have for helping printables kind of blend into your pages. Another little trick I have here is to just reveal a little bit of the sticker, cut away the backing sheet, position it where you want it. I'm going to push down up at the top and create a hinge to remove the rest of the backer sheet. That way I can get the sticker exactly where I want it. I don't have to worry about it grabbing a hold of the page before I'm ready for it to, and everything is kind of lined up nice and smooth. Then I can just cut away the excess and bam, background done. Thanks, Ingrid, for doing all the work for us. It looks like a mixed media background without all the fuss. So now I'm going to take that trellis stencil and some opaque white texture paste. You could also use gesso if you don't want the dimension of the texture paste. And I'm just gonna put this through the stencil in kind of the bottom right-hand corner. I'm covering up that darker part of the background. And then another trick I have with printables or stickers or anything like that is anything that I do over the top of it, I try to take over onto the Bible page as well. So one thing you'll see is I'm kind of bringing a little bit of this texture paste into the bottom left-hand corner of that stencil, which is ever so slightly on the bottom margin of this page. I'll do the same thing up here at the top. And that's just gonna help the sticker, again, blend in with the page. I don't want it to look like some straight-edged square of sticker plopped on the page. That's just not the look that I prefer. I want it to look like everything is cohesive and blending together. So I'll set aside that to dry, but I am going to use the kind of excess that's on my scrap paper and put a little bit of that through the stencil onto this card just to add some texture to it, but it's also going to help kind of tie the card in with the background so we know all this kind of goes together. So while that's drying, I'm going to work on this little like pine bough piece here. I'm using some gathered twigs and rustic wilderness distress oxide ink, and I'm just dabbing the ink onto this piece. You could use paints, gelatos, Neocolor 2 crayons, sprays, watercolor, you name it. There's so many different ways that you could colorize this muslin. This is just how I'm doing it. It's what was on my desk. It was easy. At this point, it looks a little stiff is the word I'm going to say. It looks like ink dabbed on fabric. So I don't want that. I want it to look very natural. So I'm just kind of splurting a little bit of water. I'm not spraying. It's like if you hold that spray bottle halfway, it like blurps water out. That helps those inks kind of blend together and gives it a more like watercolor painterly look to it and blends everything together. So I did that on the front and the back of that branch. And then now I'm just taking a little bit of multimedia matte glue. This is a glue that dries really clear, brushing it on there in a few areas and then dipping this into some rock candy glitter. And so it gives it this frosted pine bough look. I know we're past Christmas, it's winter, but for those of you everywhere, pretty much besides California, that got crazy amounts of snow the last couple weeks, that's probably what your branches look like right now. So then I'm just going to stick down that Mary sticker. I absolutely love that piece. I love it. I'm so mesmerized by Ingrid's skills. Like I was focusing in on the lines of that donkey and I'm just amazed at her skills at drawing. I don't have those, so I love it. And then I'm just going to create my little cluster here with that die cut and that wax seal piece and just use some liquid adhesive to adhere everything down. One word of caution with those seals that are made with the embossing glazes, they're much harder and more brittle than traditional wax. And so when you're adhering it to a project, you want to make sure that it's completely flat. You don't want it kind of over anything too bumpy because it may snap or break. So just be careful with that. But I kept it pretty flat there. And then I'm just going to attach that card to the page with a little paper clip. I can do all my journaling on the back of the card. And that is it. Very, very simple entry today. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave those down below for me. Check out the description box for links to everything that I mentioned, that I used in the video. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. And until next time, thank you so much. Bye-bye.